Alright, in the last video, I forgot to talk to you guys about one more HTTP method called trace. So, trace. Now, what this method does is pretty similar to what head does. So it returns the status code and it returns the request header information, but it also returns the user agent and the host. So sends request and returns status code, header info, user agents, and host. Okay, so what the user agent is pretty much just the browser. So is it coming from Mozilla? Is it coming from Safari, Google Chrome? And the host is whatever or whoever is hosting the site. So Facebook, Google, your own personal site or whatever. So this gives you a little bit more information or a little bit more of the user information. So that's why it's referred to as trace. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, when it comes to rendering templates, this video can get kind of long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this first part and I'm going to stop when we get to template inheritance, but I'm going to continue in another video with the auto escaping part. So this was originally supposed to be one whole video, but it kind of goes over like 15 minutes, so I'm just going to divide it because I don't really like making long videos. Okay, so rendering templates. Generating HTML from with Python is not fun and actually pretty cumbersome because you have to do the HTML escaping on your own to keep the application secure. Because of that, Flask configures the Django template engine for you automatically. Okay, so what they're saying right here is pretty much if you're going to be generating HTML from within Python, so what we're doing here, then escaping can be kind of a hassle because we're going to have to do it on our own. So they provide this Django templating engine for us, so that way we can have auto escaping enabled. So to render a template, you can use the render template method. All you have to do is provide the name of the template and the variables you want to pass to the template engine as keyword arguments. Here's a simple example of how to render a template. So as you can see, we have our route here to hello, and then hello with the variable name. So there's a variable part, and it's called name, a variable part. So of course we take name in as a parameter or name in as a argument, whatever you want to say, and then we render the template, and then we pass our name variable by the keyword name into that template. So when we want to refer to name, we're going to use this key right here, name. Flash will look for templates in the template folder. So if your application is a module, this folder is next to that module. If it's a package, it's actually inside your package. So if you're going to make this next to your application, so what they're doing here, then you're going to make the templates folder and then you're going to put the template inside of the templates folder. Now, if you're going to go the other route or the other path or whatever, then you're pretty much going to make a package. So application is the package. And as you can tell, we have, or as you can see, we have init.py, and then we have templates or our templates directory, which holds our HTML template. So we can either do it this way or this way. I'm going to do it this way because this is the structure we kind of already have set up. So next to static, I'm going to go here and inside of Flash tutorials, I'm going to put a new package. Well, no, actually a new directory. And we're going to call this templates. And what we're going to do is first, I'm going to make a new HTML file, and this one is going to be called templates. So we're going to, I mean, templates. This one is going to be called base, so base.html. And then we're also going to make another one, and it's going to be called index. So index is going to refer to the home page or the page that we pull up when we navigate to our site. So I'm going to go here, make a new HTML file, and we're going to call this index.html. Look at the structure, make sure everything was according or looking adequate, and it does. Okay, now I'm going to first delete this. So yeah, so we're gonna go to here, delete this, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to import render template. So render template, the render template function. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna render these templates. So I'm gonna return render template, and the name of the template is what is this for home? So index.html. So here I'm just gonna put some random tag. So hello world. No, let's not do that. Let's just put home page. All right, we got that here. We have it set up to render this template. We have our structure set up when it comes to how we want to navigate through the files. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually render this template. So it should say home page if everything is working right. I'm going to stop this. Then I'm going to play it again. Okay, now everything looks good. I'm gonna click this, and as you can see, it says home page here. All right, so everything's good to go as far as that. So I'm gonna make a few more. Well, actually, let me change something here. So I'm going to go to photos. Remember, we need to have meaningful URLs. We don't really need this URL, so I'm gonna delete this one. And I'm also gonna delete this one because we were just using this for testing. So I'm going to keep these two because they seem somewhat meaningful. But I'm also going to add profiles. So like the page you enter or the page you navigate to when you log in. So I'm going to control V this, change this to profile, and I'm going to render the profile template. I know we don't have it yet, but I'm going to make it right now. So we have that here, put another space here so Python can stop complaining. Then I'm going to create this, what was this going to be? Profile.html. Okay, and we're going to delete this, and we're just going to return some h1 that says profile page. Go back to our app, make sure everything looks good. Delete this. Okay, there we go. And go to our server, stop it and rerun it. I know it's already or it's set to refresh since we have debug mode on, but view function mapping is existing. Oh, okay, so I didn't change the name of the route here. So going to delete this. Oh, okay. Actually, not delete that. Um, I'm going to change this to profile. Okay. Now we should be good to go. So I'm gonna run this again. And as you can see, we're good to go. Open this home page. When I navigate to profile, then we get profile page. Okay, so this is pretty much how we would use the render template function to render our templates. Remember, our app file is, or our app module is outside of our directories. So our template directory and static directory, it's right next to them. So we're using case one. All right. For templates, you can use the full power of Jenga 2 templates. Head over to the official Jenga 2 template documentation for more information. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You can do that if you want. But here they give us an example, and this is pretty much what we're going to use majority of the time. Now, if you do need to use some sort of other, I don't know, command or input, then you can obviously go here and see the documentation for that. But here, this is just a quick overview, and this video is already taking enough time. So yeah. So if we want to render a statement, so like a if statement, a while loop, or a for loop, then we would use parentheses, open bracket. Whereas if we wanted to use an expression or something we would need to evaluate, then we would use these two open brackets here. So inside of here, we can actually put 2 plus 2 and evaluate something. Here, we can't do that because it, of course, will return an error to us because this syntax is used for statements, where this syntax is used for expression. Okay. Inside templates, you also have access to the config request session and G objects, as well as the URL for and get flash messages functions. So just a brief overview of this. Config is pretty much a dictionary which you can use to configure settings about your application. So let's say I wanted to, because here we would have debug mode equal to true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to app, or I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to write app.config, and I'm going to access this dictionary, of course, by using the bracket syntax. And the key I want to access is the debug feature. So in all caps, I would write debug here, and then I would set it to true. Now, as you can see, when we ran our server, debug mode was off. So when we run it now, it should be on. So if I stop this, rerun the server, let it load, and as you can see now, debug mode is on. So that's what config does. Request lets you handle information in regards to what's being submitted or what's being sent. So templates are especially useful if inheritance is used. If you want to know how that works, see template inheritance. Basically, template inheritance makes it possible to keep certain elements on each page. So when it comes to template inheritance, what is going to happen is you're going to create a base template. So that's why I have base here. If my mouse would work right. I have base here because this is going to be the template that they're talking about. So the one that includes the navigation, header, and footer information, but except we're going to put a navigation bar here. And what we're going to do is let's just make this let's just put base here. What we're going to do is we're going to extend this template in our other template so that way we won't have to go through every page and keep having to code the navigation bar, the header and footer. We can just extend this page and it'll already have that information there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write base here. I'm going to go index, or I'm going to go to index because this is the home page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Jenga templating syntax. So I'm going to use this extends, or the extends keyword, and I'm going to write base.html. Then I'm going to close this off. So what should happen is we should extend the base HTML. So we should see base here, and then we should also see home page right underneath it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go to here because it's obviously not, I mean, I know this is the way that well, if I could go to wherever it is I was, um, yeah, no, this should not, I deleted the request.post. So what I'm going to do here is pretty much run this again, and hopefully we shouldn't get an error. We don't. Navigate here, and when this hurry up and loads, as you can see, we get, oh, I don't even have, well, it doesn't matter. Well, we get base here, and the reason we're not getting this here is because we need to include this in a block, and I haven't really gotten to blocks yet. I will in the next video because this video is obviously really long. So what we're gonna have to do is put this inside of something called a block, and we're gonna name that block, and then we're gonna copy this, and then control V this. I'm going to delete this. I will explain what all of this is in another video, but as of now, I just want to show you how to extend from the base template. Now we're going to name the block, and then we're going to go to our base, and then we're going to put, wait, no, base, then block content and block. We're going to go to base, and then we're going to write that same block content here. So block content, and then we're going to end the block. If this would ever work, I'm just going to write it here in block. Oh goodness, I cannot type right now. Okay, block content and block. Let me end this so it can stop complaining. Now, if I refresh this, then as you can see, I get base plus whatever I had wrote on the whole or index, so homepage. All right, so in the next video, I'm going to be going over auto escaping because this video is 16 minutes already. So yeah.